Hi guys, this is Jess and Andrew from Gameosity, and before we were board gamers, we like to play other types of games. We are pretty big into role-playing games, and we really love video games.
Yeah, we've been both separately been playing video games basically our whole lives, and one of the things that you might think if you're kind of uninitiated is that video games, board games, they're all just sort of games, and if you like one, you might like the other, but it can be a little tough to get kind of the experience of a board game in a video game or vice versa.
All right, Evelyn Morel. Ah, why? Yeah, that wouldn't really work in a game. But recently, a lot more board games have been able to capture the essence of a video game in their gameplay. I mean, you've got The Witcher, which is this adventure board game, and then there's XCOM, which is a strategic tactical game, and then uniquely you've got BioShock.
Yeah, BioShock Infinite, Siege of Columbia from Plaid Games. It's an area control game that's based on a first-person shooter that's equal parts about rescuing a woman trapped in a tower and an exploration of string theory and the ripple effect of quantum singularities. But it's also a board game.
Yeah.
So as we said, BioShock Infinite, Siege of Columbia is an area control game featuring one of the most absurdly oversized first-player tokens I've ever seen. And essentially, it's about moving armies around the board. There are two factions that will compete over territories. You will use your units to build pools of dice. Combat is resolved that way. Each card in the game is used for a bunch of different things, which we think is really cool. It can help you in combat. It can help you tip the vote that happens at the end of each round, and it can even act as currency, or it might even have a discard effect. Both factions will have an upgrade board, so you have an opportunity to increase the power of your units and change how they work. And overall, what you're doing is you're fighting for control over the skybound city of Columbia, which is not what the video game is about.
So with the board game, instead of following the main character of the video game, Booker, we're playing the factions that Booker comes into contact with. We're playing the bad guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, depending on how you look at it. Basically, the video game is the story of this one man and his adventure through the city of Columbia. Instead, what the board game is doing is it tells the story of the factions that kind of wrap around Booker's story. The good guys, bad guys, depends on your perspective, the very moral gray area of people who are trying to control this city and its technology. And instead of being, sort of insular about this one character, the board game makes it so that up to 4 people can play in this world while being engaged in the story about it.
Instead of trying to emulate the video game in cardboard, this gives it a chance to be just a board game.
Right, it can be its own thing. And what's neat is that even though it exists sort of outside the concepts of the video game mechanically, it still attaches to the game conceptually. You still zip around on skyhooks, you still fight handymen, Songbird is terrifying, and quantum entanglement is still a part of the board game, albeit a relatively minimal one. It's sort of an expansion, or an adaptation, not...
It gives you more story instead of trying to retell the story.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm Andrew.
I'm Jess.
And we're from Gameosity. Thanks for watching. And until then, see you next game.
Enjoy that review? Then please like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and check out our full reviews on Gameosity.com.